Is the music industry cooked? Let's look at your comments. First one says, yes, but creativity is thriving. I wouldn't say creativity is thriving. I think first we have to get rid of this instant gratification attitude that we have. We want to be experts. We want to be amazing at things like that. We want the results like that. And that's just not how it works. You have to suck. And then after sucking, you have to become decent. Then after being decent, you learn how to be good. Then after being good, you learn how to be great. Then after being great for a long time, then you become a master. It takes time. And I wouldn't say everyone is bound by those time constraints. Some people become masters far sooner. But either way, you're going to have to put in the work. And I think once we value putting in that work, then creativity can thrive. And then just in general, we need to have a better value for music and the arts. We need to start seeing them as necessary. We need to start seeing them as things that we enjoy and things that we need in our life. No, quite the opposite. Due to the flopping of big record labels and the collective disgust with AI using music as training data, real music is evolving faster and is experiencing a revival. I think it's a little too soon to say that. I think with the direction that music creators have been going in for the last 10 years or so, I think it's hard to say that. I mean, number one, what is real music? But I think it's hard to say that it is evolving faster and experiencing a revival. Whatever the revival of real music is, I don't know what that is. I mean, you know, there's definitely movements out there, and there have been movements for a long time that are taking a very careful approach to music, but I wouldn't say that is the majority. I think if that was the majority, then I would say, okay, yeah, there's a revival, but it's still a niche market. You know, like these labels like Stone's Throw and Daptone, these are very niche markets, I would say. A lot of people that enjoy them, but it's definitely not something I would see on the scale of pop artists, major pop artists. But it is cool to see songs like Can I Call You Rose become viral hits. I love seeing that. I'm gonna just keep my head down and make what I love. F the industry. I think it's easy to say F the industry if you're not a part of it, or maybe if you've been scarred by it. But I think we still do need an industry. We don't need an industry in order for great music to be made, because great music is going to be made regardless, somewhere in the world, by many people or by few. It's still going to happen. We can still locally experience it. But yeah, if you feel like the industry or thinking about the industry is going to stop you from making what you love, then yeah, do what you got to do. As for me, I don't say F the industry. I still have industry aspirations, if you will. But you know, there's a lot of great people that work in the industry across a lot of labels. If I don't know if you're talking major label industry or indie label or just the music industry in general. But yeah, the industry isn't all bad. There's a lot of bad, but it's not all bad. No, everything moves in cycles. The wave of good music will circle back around because people are becoming tired of what's popular. Calling it now. It'll possibly be someone to come along and start up a new musical renaissance with little stars. There will be a wave of good music, then maybe in the next 40 plus years, it'll probably circle back to trash again. Who knows? Just a guess, but let's just wait and see. It's a prediction, but the question was, is the music industry cooked? And I'm not asking that question. First of all, it's a very vague question, but I wasn't asking about the quality of music or music that I consider to be trash, just the industry, based on monetization and how crazy it is to make a living in this music industry. Is it cooked? But to respond to what you're saying, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've experienced 40 years of trash. Me personally, if I was to go back, 40 years would be the mid 80s. I mean, Thriller was 40 years ago. You know, Enter the Wu-Tang was 30 years ago. Get Rich or Die Trying was 20 years ago. And so was The Chronic. Chronic 2001 was about 24 years ago. To Pimp a Butterfly was 10 years ago. And Chronix just came out with an amazing album called Exile. I think there's good music that has come out. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of garbage in between. But I think we're just in a space right now where you just have to dig for what the good stuff is. And weirdly enough, you're going to see the mainstream stuff and the underground stuff, if you will, come across your feed in the same way through Instagram ads or basically through social media. That's why I think someone will point it out in another comment, but there really is no mainstream anymore. Everything just kind of exists in one giant mass of content that we experience every single day. Nah, the playing field just even. The music industry can't create a core fan base for you. It's an opportunity for upcoming acts to relish on that, in my opinion. Yeah, I think we've seen that with a lot of artists that some people refer to as industry plants that we just don't take to. We get hit over the head with tons of marketing. We see these artists come out on their debut single with a huge feature from an artist, and it feels like, who in the world is this? And we just don't take to it. So, yeah, I would agree that this is an opportunity, although I think the opportunity has been there before, but I guess now more than ever, to take advantage of the thing that makes you, you, which is you. You're not artificial intelligence. You're not a robot. People can actually connect with you. Your songs are hopefully being written by you, so there's something they can relate to, your unique lived experience. Or if your songs are not being written by artificial intelligence, but they're being written by songwriters or a few songwriters, their lived experience and then your expression of that lived experience. It's still a beautiful thing. And I think that people are still hungry to relate to these things and to consume these things and to interact with them. So yeah, there's definitely, I would agree, there is that opportunity there. No, but you can let it cook you if you let it. Yeah, I don't feel like I've been cooked by the music industry. I've definitely had some experiences when it comes to the business side that were less than savory. But yeah, from what I've seen, you can definitely get cooked. No, it's about to go through a crazy change though. Imagine 2030. I don't even want to imagine 2030. I'm in 2025. I'm getting ready. I'm already ready for 2026. But who knows? This industry changes so fast. 2030, who knows? We might be buying vinyl records again, Yes, of course. Combining music/art with corporate industry is a doomed proposition to begin with. Just be the best musician you can be. I don't expect some corporate D-head to offer me millions. So this was actually a conversation I was having with my brother-in-law, and I was speculating that the reason why people come to America to pursue music is because you can get offered millions of dollars. Look at the stars that we've created, Michael Jackson and Prince and Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and Lady Gaga. We've produced some massive artists. And from those massive artists, it creates a lot of jobs. I was just thinking about how much money the album Thriller has generated. And I'm sure it's well over $1 billion. It's sold around 70 million copies. You think $10 per album. Then you add in the publishing. Then you add in the touring. That's definitely well over $1 billion. But think about how many jobs that creates. You have live musicians who played on the album and were touring. You have the engineers, obviously Bruce Swedien, and then you have the producer, Quincy Jones. You have the studios that were used to record and mix and master the album. Then you have the people working at the labels to distribute the music, to market the album. Then you have video teams to shoot, which is one of the most amazing, legendary music videos of all time in Thriller. This album generated over $1 billion and a lot of jobs for a lot of people. So I think that the industry actually is good for creating these jobs, But now we're seeing a lot of these jobs have gone away. And with AI coming in, a lot of people feel threatened that even more of these jobs are going to go away. So, take that how you will, but I don't think there's anything wrong with being offered millions of dollars as long as the contract is straight. It was cooked the moment Spoilify was launched. I honestly feel like it was cooked a little bit before that, if you could call it cooked. I still don't know. I just posed this question just to see what people would say. And I'll say this, I come from the perspective of hip hop because that was the first music that I think really caught my attention. And when I was between 6 and 8 years old, that was the era of Bad Boy. That was the era of Aftermath. That was the era of, what was the other big one? Def Jam. And I'll say at the same time, there was an underground movement happening with Rhymesayers and Stone's Throw and Raucous Records. And you could really see, if you just analyze these two movements happening at the same time, very parallel. There's something that happened when this huge influx of money and the opportunity to make money came into rap music. And to use your word, it kind of did spoil a lot of the music. Now, I still love a lot of the Bad Boy stuff from the early 2000s. I still love Aftermath. I mean, Aftermath created classic albums in that era. Eminem and 50 Cent, the second Chronic album. These are like heavy classics. To documentary to me is, real people know that's a classic hip hop album, but I feel like that's often the one that gets underlooked. Documentary, just the people. I'm getting off track, but look at all the producers that produce on Documentary. High Tech, Kanye West. I think Dre did the first track, or was that Scott Storch? West Side Story. There's some heavy hitters on the Documentary, and the Game just brings it, But if you look at these two movements happening at the same time, there's just something that happens when there is an opportunity to make millions of dollars, and people change, man. And the quality of the music gets diluted. So maybe that was the moment it got cooked. It also provided a lot of creative people with the opportunity to make millions of dollars. I don't know. At the end of the day, to me, viewing it as cooked is very subjective. So if I had to take a stance, I would say it began cooking. It was marinating in the early 2000s. I'll say that. In many ways, it's been broken for a long time for many reasons, but I do believe people will always want to experience the music people make and perform. So it's not all bad. So I actually agree with this 100%. I have faith that, people still want to hear live music. People still want to see the process behind creating music. And once people really experience that and get a taste for it, I was just having this conversation at Thanksgiving. I went to Flagler Steakhouse in Palm Beach for my anniversary one year, and I had a tomahawk steak. And I'm telling you, I don't think I've eaten steak since that was 2022. I have not eaten steak since 2022. Besides maybe skirt steak, fajitas, but that's not even comparable. It's almost a different animal, I have not had steak since 2022 because if I can't have that medium rare tomahawk steak from Flagler Steakhouse, and they're not paying me to say this, but hey, y'all want to sponsor me, I have not had steak since 2022 because when I experienced the real thing at that level, I don't want anything else. So when people hear this is why jazz musicians and jazz fans are such snobs. When you hear Kind of Blue for the first time, or you hear like Milestones, or you hear Giant Steps, or any of these iconic albums, you're like, you know what? Nah, I'm not playing that smooth jazz stuff. I'm not ragging on smooth jazz. Smooth jazz is cool. I love George Benson. But when you develop a taste for something, You're not going to go for anything less. I think that's just human nature. 100%. The supply-demand ratio is way out of whack. Yeah, this was actually another conversation I was having. Everybody is a creator. There's way too much of a supply, and we can honestly thank the democratization, if that's the word you want to use, of being a music creator. Now the barrier to entry is way low, so now everybody can be a music creator. That's cool. I think it's cool that anybody can do it, but now the line is being blurred between the people who take it seriously on a certain level, who take it seriously as a passion, a lifelong passion, and people who do it as a hobby. I could care less who does it, why they do it, whatever. But also, don't tell me it's on the same level. Like, I got friends that do film photography. I take pictures on my phone and I add film grain. I'm not a film photographer, but this is the equivalent of what AI producers, what Suno is saying they're gonna do by creating more music creatives. It's not the same thing. Music is as eternal as the human soul, but I can tell you from personal experience that the music industry has been eating its seed corn for at least 30 years, and we are now getting to the bottom of the silo. This was one that I heavily resonated with. I feel like the industry has just taken the most creative people with good intentions, and just ripped them off and sucked them dry. And it's like, I'm looking around, what's left? The industry encourages people to basically do whatever they can to get ahead, to make whatever they can, to make whatever's popular. And that's how you lose the creative nature and honestly the fun of what this is supposed to be, in my opinion. But these days, man, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. That's why I posed the question in the first place. Is the music industry cooked? Maybe it's always been this way, and maybe I'm cooked. It's air fried. Definitely air fried. 450 degrees, extra crispy for 20 minutes. Air fried.